coming on. And here it is. All right, how are y'all tonight? Hopefully y'all are doing well. We are going to be making a Christmas kit tonight. Now, here's the sign. Here's the thing. How many of you know where this expression comes from? Do y'all know where this expression comes from? And do you know why the tree is slanted? And why the dog has deer? Little deer little head things to make it look like a deer. Well, this expression is from the Grinch. Now I can't put Grinch on here because he's copyrighted, of course. But I can use the tree, and I can use the little doggy. And this expression is actually in the Grinch, right? It says, "What if Christmas means a bit more? ... So that's where I got it from. Isn't it cute? Yes, the air conditioning is fixed. Yay! So this is actually a kit in my shop right now. And it has, trying to get my little stuff over here. It has, yes, exactly, El Grinch. It has red and green. I love this emerald green. Look how pretty that is. So it has those two. Kind of pull this off a little. I'm still trying to figure out how to set up my space correctly. So if I'm kind of bumbling around, that's why. I'm still trying to figure it out. So, then we have, so this is the full roll. Isn't this cute? Look, it has a little Merry Christmas in red and green. And we have the red, green, and white block. And then we have red and green. And I went with a lime green on this because we have the darker greens everywhere else. But of course, we have lime greens in here too. So, I cut everything up. Now, I want to tell you about some changes that we're making to the kits. If you don't buy kits, you can just ignore this part. Oh, we're going to do the barn sign with the snow on Wednesday. You want to see the sign? What did I do with the sign? I put it over here somewhere. Where did I put it? I gotta look for it. I put it over here somewhere. Okay, so the kits are changing a little bit. I'm sorry, just the instructions. So the instructions are now going to tell you what to do with the ribbon first, because that seems to be an area where people get confused. And then we're going to have multiple options. There's actually going to be more than 4 options. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to record each one of these options as a pre-recorded video. So that no matter which kit you get, you can always go back and look at them. Well, I would love to say we're all settled, but we're not, because they're getting ready to put up walls. So we're just kind of waiting. Yeah, it's the same couch. It just moved over here. Usually it has blankets and all over it, but the blankets got filthy when we moved. So. So you'll always have a recorded version of kits to go back and look at. Because I think that might have been something where people were kind of struggling. But you know, when I come on live with y'all, I do talk a little bit. And so if you're new, it's kind of hard to really kind of get the understanding. All right, so on this one, I cut these at 30 inches. So you could either cut them at 30 inches or 20 inches and still do All right, there we go. Sorry, I don't know why it did that. Okay, just ignore that. If that ever happens, it just means that for some reason my Mevo app went off. And so I just have to go back and reconnect it. So it actually won't take the video off. It just takes the sound out. What a pain in the tail, right? So, sorry about that. Anyways, let's get back to what we were doing. Okay, so we're still trying to work out some of the bugs in here. And they have put my internet in here, but I haven't been able to run a cable to my Mevo yet. So sometimes it kind of drops off. Okay. Owl can give you a link for these. And let me zoom back in here. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Just technical difficulties. All right. There it is. I was trying to find myself on Facebook. Okay. So I just go straight up the center. And what I like to do is I will push with my thumbs and pull back with my fingers. So push with my thumbs, pull back with my fingers. If you're having trouble keeping it straight, spread your fingers out. Although I will tell you, it's not going to make a huge difference. It's not going to make a huge difference because you're going to ruffle them up together, and it's not like it's not going to look good. So don't stress out if it seems like it's not looking good. But you see, if it starts going like this way, spread your fingers out, and it helps you keep more control over the mesh. Like that. See, it should come out looking like a bow tie. I like to put 2 in at a time, just a personal preference. You can go all the way around and then put your ribbon in, or you can do what I do. Or you can do it whichever way works for you. So, in my former profession, honestly, I am still a CPA. I'm still a CPA. I just don't really practice it. So I had to learn all about efficiency and how to, do things efficiently, especially when I was working in manufacturing, because it was all about getting that done as low price as possible. So efficiency is a big thing to me. And I found that I can get through it faster this way than any other way, so this seems more efficient to me. All right, so we're going to take a ribbon. I cut what was left of the mesh into 8-inch pieces, both. In this one, we're going to do same color, same color. You just roll it up, fold your ribbons in half, then you're just going to gather it, kind of pinch it up where that center is, and you want to get that little curl, and then take one whole piece and put it down. You want to do at least 3 good curls there of your tie. Then you can just trim it off, and I just tuck it back, tuck it in the back. All right, and then I'll pull this out front. On the bottom, I don't bother pulling the ribbons out until I'm done, because otherwise you're going to be frustrated at the end when you have to pull them out again. There are some ways that you can keep your mesh straight. You can use your bow maker or your bow dabber. I'll show you just a minute. All right, so when I pull this one out, we're going to leave this one open, all right, because our full roll, this, we're going to make some mini bows. So we're just going to leave that open because we're going to come back and do mini bows. All right, so look here. I'm not sure where my bow dabber is yet. Yep, it's the growing pain thing. So we're sharing the space with another company, and they're having to put in a dividing wall, a fireproof wall. So we can't get everything exactly put into place until that's complete. So that's why we're kind of not like settled. All right. So what you do is you put it on its side like this, and where the opening is, you're going to find the center of your mesh, and you're just going to pull it right through. You want to make sure that you don't catch it and cause a problem with the mesh, so just take your time. The bow dabber is a really great way to do this because it's plastic, and so it won't catch. All right, see how you just push it all the way down? So look at that. See, we have our little bow tie. Then you just pull from the bottom, pull it all the way out. And there you have a perfect bow tie. So there you go. Next time you're struggling, how do you keep from raveling? Okay, so there's a couple of tricks. One is you have to use a very sharp rotary cutter. Okay, so this is a rotary cutter. You really need to cut with these, and it needs to be a new blade. If you start to see that you're getting a lot of fraying, then you need to change your blade. The other thing you can do, see now when you do a ruffle and you tuck it under, you're really not going to see little or any frays. But if you do, you can take your mesh, okay? And the trick is the least amount of messing with your mesh. So you don't want to keep coming back and spreading these out because that's going to make it fray more. You want to tuck it under, just like a little edge, and kind of fold it over with your fingers, and then go up. What that does is it just tucks your frayed edges underneath, and then when I get to the end, instead of pushing it out, I just kind of cover over. So you see how each side kind of has a little bit tucked in? Now when you put it down, like this, you're not going to see those frayed edges, okay? Listen, when I first started making these, we all did these 3 10-inch cuts. Oh my word. Let me tell you about the fraying. Y'all, it was horrible. It was horrible. It would fray like nobody's business. I mean, you get all these little frayed edges, you'd be trying to cut it. It was awful. So that's why I started doing 30-inch, because I was like, there has got to be a better way to do this. And I saw someone do it. Actually, I saw Debbie doing 20-inch. And I was like, well, hell, if you can do 20-inch, you can do 30. So that's what I started doing. Because I was like, yeah, this is just not helping me. So that's why I started doing 30-inch. Because yeah, that was, the fraying was killing me, and the whole efficiency thing, it was taking me forever. I'm a very patient person, however, I tend to do things kind of fast. So it was bugging my let's go fast. All right. So we are putting our little curls in, same color. I want to keep those colors separate. If I wanted them to be kind of more uniform, then I would put the green and the red and the red and the green. Then you kind of tend to get a more spread out look. It just depends on really what you're looking for, what kind of thing you're looking for. So I don't know why this didn't bring this up. Bring it up. There, now I got it. Okay. There we go. Okay. So remember, on the green ones, I'm going to leave the ties on because we're going to come back and we're going to put that Merry Christmas ribbon back in as little bows. Yes. What you want to stay away from is the basic mesh. You want, at a minimum, you want it to have metallic in it. That metallic stripe, what that does is that kind of binds it together a little bit better so that you don't have as much tendency to fray. Yeah, your fingertips get sore. You can get, I don't know if I have any in here. You can get, yeah. You can get these little things to put on your fingers. They're to protect you from glue. However, they work to protect you from mesh too. So just get these little things. See that? It's just a little piece of like rubber. Works great. And then you won't tear up your fingers. Yeah, mesh can dry your hands out. Something terrible. Sure can. Okay. I like to spread them out. So I pull both mesh pieces up like this and spread it out. See, like that? What that does is that'll keep it from kind of scrunching up together, and it'll spread out and it'll cover more of the frame so that you're not seeing through to the frame. I have done longer than 12-inch ribbons. The reason I don't do more than 12-inch is because I'm a mesh girl. I like my mesh. I like to be able to see my mesh. And if you do 13 or 14-inch on your tails, you're going to see ribbon, and you're really not going to see much of the mesh. So if you like lots and lots of ribbon and you don't really want to see the mesh, and you don't really care about how the mesh looks on the bottom, by all means, add on that extra ribbon. I love ribbon. I'm a big ribbon girl, but I want to be able to see my mesh, so that's why I do it. I would be happy to show you one that has longer. Maybe when we come on Wednesday, we'll do one with longer tails, so I can show you what I mean. So yeah, there was a time when I did 13 and 14-inch tails, but the problem is, one, you're going to use a whole lot more ribbon and it's going to get expensive quick, and two, you're not going to see that mesh, and that would drive me crazy. I feel like I spent all that time making the mesh so pretty, and then you can't see it because it's like all ribbon. See, the way that I do them, I can use one roll on 2 different wreaths. So if you use 12-inch, you can do that. Do I have any metallic? I don't know if I have any of the metallic green or red in stock. I think I had the green. I don't know if I have any red. I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, so the good rule of thumb is that your ribbon should be 2 to 4 inches above your mesh, right? So we're using 10-inch mesh. So I'm going to put it at 12-inch, which is a great way to still see the mesh and see the ribbon. That's why I do it, because I want to see that pretty mesh. Alright, so when you see videos going up of different methods for wreath kits, that's why. So you'll know that you can refer back to them. They'll be on my website as well. That way you can always go back and look. Man, I love hanging out with y'all and talking to y'all. But some people just need straight instruction. So we want to make sure we cover all our bases. Okay. Huh, Belly? Oh, and y'all, I'm so excited. I have wreath frames coming in. Lots of them. And I'm sold out of swags again. So I'll be ordering some more. I think maybe I just need to make a bigger order. So I'll do that tomorrow. I noticed today we were out again. But we are going to have frames in. I'm hoping they will be here. They should be here this week. I'm pretty excited. The website is shophardworkingmom.com. I know, I'm so excited. Oh, and we got in a ton of the Unique in the Creek boards. So we have those listed too, and I want to show y'all some ways to use them because you know how hard it is to get frames these days. It is so hard. So y'all, we have to get creative. Gonna get creative. Okay. See, I just put that little curl in here. The reason I do that is it covers up more of the frame and it gives it another little texture, another little interest for you to look at in the wreath. The 10-inch wreath forms, I have done them, yes. I do make my own signs, yes I do. I do. Oh, and I had a lot of questions about what the wreath of the month is for next month, and I brought some samples. Now the background on this is probably going to change a little bit, but next month's wreath kit is coming with a 10-inch round sign. Look how cute that is. And then we have navy and orange mesh. And the reason we have that is because look at the ribbon. Can you see it? And then the full roll is this. That's the full roll. So that'll be out September 1st. That's my husband's birthday, September 1st. I gotta hurry up and get him a present. We do have some of those smaller frames coming in as well. I'm excited. I sure do. I love those because you can use a little bit less supplies, you know, and then you can stretch your supplies out a little bit further. Because we know what it's like trying to get supplies these days, let me tell you. Holy cow, have I had to get creative. I'm ordering from places I've never even heard of. But that's how it goes. Okay, there we go. So see how it spreads it out? Kind of helps keep them spread out. I like that. Here, let's move this for right a second. There. I'm still working on figuring out where I'm going to put things. I think I need to move this on the other side because I'm right-handed and going to the left feels weird. Yeah. These are 15-inch frames. What that means is the frame itself is 15 inch, but when you put mesh on it, it will become 24 inches. That's why they have that 15-24. So the 10-inch frames, a lot of times they'll 20 inches once you put all your mesh on. Because of course it's going to spread out more. So see, I just pull them against each other like this. Now on the last one, you got to do it on both sides. Okay. There we go. Like that. Okay, then we can make our, yeah, it's running out of stock bad. It's terrible. Very frustrating. Oh, they share a birthday. How cool. Yeah, my completed wreaths never get listed because I have somebody who comes in and takes them, buys them as soon as I make them. And the others I have to save for my big craft fair. Okay. I can sell them, but you have to let me know as soon as I'm done, so I can hide it away from Miss Rose. She will come get it. All right, so now let's do our little mini bows. All right, so what I like to do, there's two different ways you can do this. So we have this ribbon on it already. Okay, so you could do, let's do like, if we did 20, that might even be too big. That's kind of big. And that's bigger than I want. Let's see. Let's do, that looks good. Yeah, I like that. Let me tell you how long this is. This is right about 20 inches. Okay? So, let me show you a little cheap method here. So you measure out 20 inches and you just fold your ribbon over it. Now this is fine if you're only doing a few pieces of ribbon, but you don't want to do your whole thing like this because it gets to be too hard. Okay. Turn that off. And then we'll just cut all these little pieces here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to fold it in the center like this, overlapping about a good inch. Now I'm just going to push it in the middle like that. And we're going to go right where we left this tie open. Tie it around. Just kind of hide it under there. Just like that. See how cute that is? So, fold in the middle, overlapping, like that. Just pinch. Just want to make sure it's overlapping so that it doesn't come loose later. So that's the whole point of the overlapping. Okay. Then we just use our little tie it down, hide that behind there. How cute is that? I like it, I like it. And if your words aren't perfect, it's not going to matter. It's the color. It's satin feeling, but no, it's stiff. See, you can hear it. Can you hear that? It's stiff. It's not like satin. It has like a satin finish on it, but it's more like canvas with a satin finish on it. So no, It's not straight out satin. Y'all, I try to avoid satin. I try to avoid satin at all costs because I hate it. So, if you got something with satin, it's because I had no other choice. Because I don't like it. And if I don't like it, I try not to use it. Yeah. It's real thick. It's not like that yick satin. But it does have a really shiny coating on it. So if you can see, on the other side, it's more like canvas. And then on this side, it's just got this like shiny coating on it. Yep. I know my my person that I deal with at my supplier, I know she thinks I'm crazy sometimes because she'll say, I know you meant to order those 3 or 4 cases of this ribbon. I'm like, yep, I did. Gotta have enough to make sure we get our kids out there. We want to make sure we can have enough. Look how cute that is. See, and you don't need to do a tail because you already have a tail. So you don't need to, you know, use that extra little bit of ribbon just to get a tail because you already have your tail out there. So it's not needed. All right, now we'll start on the top. So when I'm starting on a new row, I'm going to open them up. It just saves you time and effort when you're trying to put it in. It can be a pain in the tail to try to open it and put something down at the same time. I don't like that. Yeah, so I put it where I have that same Christmas ribbon. It's just underneath that red one. So what I can do when I'm finished is I can pull this one down here and kind of pull these up so that you can see them both. Like that. Or you can leave the red over it, either way. I don't tend to do them on the top a lot because by the time you get on the top, it gets pretty squashed in there and it's harder to get them in without them squishing in on themselves. Yeah, you can spray satin ribbon with the Rust-Oleum. You can also put fabric softener, and you can also put the spray starch. However, let me tell you what happens over time. If it gets exposed to a lot of heat, it will yellow and turn colors with age. So be really careful anytime you're trying to spray something onto ribbon or mesh. You don't really want to do that because what's going to happen is it's going to discolor over time. Yep. So just be careful doing that. And you know, if you live somewhere where it doesn't get hot much, then you may very well be okay. But if it gets hot where you are, I wouldn't advise it. And I will tell you, I learned that the hard way. Well, see, she lives in Ohio, so that very well may be, and that probably works there, but in the South, in the South, you can't even keep your whites white. They turn yellow. It's just that heat. That heat really kind of messes with stuff. Okay. All right, so we're going to do the same thing with these at the top. Yep. The tails are 12 inches. And we did 20 inches for the little mini bows. And then we'll have plenty left for a bow. Well, thank you, Sandra. Oh, look here. I'm picking up the wrong one, y'all. Hey, is Susan on, Dawn? Did she spray? Did she spray some satin ribbon with Rust-Oleum? I'm gonna ask her how it worked out. I also don't use the Gap foam here either because it doesn't hold up as well as styrofoam does here in the hot south. But that's just been my experience. Me too, I love this. It's all sparkly. I love sparkly. Oh, excuse me. Gracious. All right, so when I put them on the top, I'll go ahead and cut this off because we're not going to do many bows on the top. But what I am going to do is I'm going to spread out my ribbon. So remember on the bottom, we kind of pull them forward. And that's because as you put mesh on, it's going to automatically push them down. But when we get to the top, you don't have that pushing down effect. So you can spread it out. I like to put the larger ribbon going in this direction because as you can see, this is the opening where the mesh is. Okay, so wherever you tie your mesh, that's where those 2.5 inch fit really great. So, did I do both? Yeah, I did. Thank you. Alrighty. Y'all, it's nice and cool in here. And my lovely employees, especially Simone, which hopefully I'll be on a live tomorrow showing y'all, introducing y'all to everyone. We just started school today, so I didn't get to things this morning like I'd hoped I would, but we'll do it tomorrow. I can't believe it's already time for school again. Oh. It's just as soon as I felt like I was starting to get things done, and whoop, it's time for school again. I was impressed though. The boys got up on their own this morning. Before I even got home, they were already up. I was one happy mama. All right, so we're going to spread them out on the top just like we did on the bottom. Like that. And one thing you want to remember when you're putting them on the top, kind of pull it up and just make sure it's not sticking to the bottom, because it will, and then really push the bottom down. So you don't want it to, you don't want to let it do that. Okay. And we're always pushing and pulling with our fingers. But remember, you can always use your bow maker if you're struggling. I used to get so frustrated in the beginning because my ruffles would do this, and I would think, what? And then I started spreading my fingers out, and I was like, oh. Well, we homeschool, but they do not have a mask requirement here. I think it's optional, so the children can decide if they want to wear it or not, but I'm not sending my children in that environment. And honestly, I can't afford to risk having my parents exposed. You know, they're 87 and 88, so it's just not something I want to expose them to. So we homeschool. I mean, that's not the only reason we homeschool, but that's a big part of it. Just a crazy time we live in, isn't it? Scary. I don't know about where y'all are at, but it has gotten rampant here again. Now I'm hearing that when they start schools back up, they kind of don't take long, and then all of a sudden it's all over again. So, which isn't surprising. Yeah, I want to make sure that they have an education so they can go to college or whatever they want to do. Yeah, I know, every place is different. It's crazy, isn't it? That emerald green looks really dark on the screen, but it's really not. Can you see? It's not as dark as it looks. It's because, so when they leave in the afternoon, they turn the lights off right on the other side of this table, and then it kind of makes it a little bit darker over here than it should. So it kind of makes it a little weird. All right, so spread them out. Here's our curl. I'll make sure our curl is popping up so we can see it. It'll pop up a little bit more when I get mesh on this side and pull that side up. Yeah, so we use a program called Power Homeschool. And I've had some people request that I do some videos on how we do homeschool. And I would be happy to do those if you want me to. So we use a program, it's called Power Homeschool, and I really like it because we do school together. I sit there, go through the material with them, and then, you know, we talk about it, and they have, after each little lesson, they have like little mini tests, and then they have a test on each chapter, and they have a midterm and a final, and it's a lot of questions, and they have to, you know it. So, and they give you a transcript. Now we do have to have a homeschool association, so that's how we're able to do it. We have a really good one, and we have like homeschool networks we're in, but nobody's doing anything because, you know, COVID. So yeah, I'm in South Carolina. Did you bet? No, we haven't done the snowman yet. So last week, after I did my live on Tuesday, and we did the bow, yeah, they decided to come in and do my air conditioner that day. So the air conditioner is directly over right here. So all of this had to move, and it took 2 or 3 days to put it up. So yeah, that kind of took the rest of my week away. They didn't finish up until Thursday night late. And then on Friday they told us they were coming to put the walls up this week. So we had to spend all day Friday moving everything away from the wall. So it's been an adventure. But when they get everything done, it's gonna be fabulous. So I'm just trying to hang in there. But I've already told them I'm not missing any more lives. They better figure it out. Okay. I need my wreath therapy. So they're going to have to figure out how to do their work later. It was weird. I just like went home and sat with my husband, and I was like, this is weird. So y'all, my husband, he works about an hour from where we live, and so we don't, during the week, some days we just don't see each other because, of course, I work late. So it was weird being there and just kind of like being there when he goes to bed. He goes to bed at like 7:30 because he has to get up at like 3:30. So There we go. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that, y'all. I think I'm gonna have to get that cord spread out here. See, I got so distracted I did the wrong one. Alright, yeah. So anyways, he gets up really early. So we don't see each other much during the week. That's why I started taking my weekends off. Because he was at home all the time. You know, he was working from home. And then they took him back in. So now, he's back at work. Oh yeah, if you want to find out when I'm live, you just need to text LIVE, L-I-V-E, to 864-465-8401. And y'all ignore my Mevo being a pain in the tail, because I don't know what the heck's going on with that. But we're almost done. So hopefully it'll behave for the next few minutes. I'll go back and cut that part out, because it's really being a pain today. Okay? So on these, we've got to spread out both sides, because we're at the end. You see how it helps it stay up? That also helps your curl stay in place so that it's not falling over. Kind of sets a little base for your ribbon. Like that. There we go. Now remember always to check that bottom, make sure it's not squashing it, because it will want to. Thank you. Oh, those are tiny ones. Let's do these. The great thing is, when you get towards the bottom, these things are already really curly, so you don't have to do them much. You just have to kind of pick them up, put them on there. Okay. Don't you love these colors? Now, I bet you my mom's gonna want this one, because she always says to me, well, when are you gonna do one that has traditional red and green? She really likes the traditional colors. So guess what? This one's traditional. Okay. There we go. So see how it keeps that little curl up? So what I do is I kind of spread these out, and I kind of have the curl kind of like in between the ribbons, like that. Then you can still see it. That's kind of how I like to do it. Thank you. All right. Oh, I can do a wreath with the animal print on the edges, but I can't get that mesh because it's all sold out. But I will show y'all what I did in my group, because I did do one of those. Give me just a couple minutes. All right, so see how I just kind of pull it up so you can see that little curl. Look how cute that is. Oh, look at those colors. See that shine? Look at that little Merry Christmas. It's so cute. All right, let me show you this, and then well, whoops. You know, I cannot do that thing one-handed. I don't know why, I just can't do it. All right, so I made this for my group. This is that really pretty mesh. And look, we have those little bitty pumpkins from Hobby Lobby in with that mesh. Look at that mesh. Isn't that mesh just gorgeous? This, I had it upside down. This is actually on an evergreen base. And actually, this is a Dollar Tree frame, and we made our own evergreen and then put it on that. So that's what we did in group. And and my acorn fell off. Well, I tell you what's funny. We did it in group, but I hadn't found my glue pot yet, so I couldn't glue anything in. It turned out so pretty, but I couldn't glue anything in. I was like, okay. I'm sorry. I just couldn't. I couldn't get it. I couldn't glue it in. I'm telling you, this moving stuff is for the birds. Oh, hey, there's that sign. There's the sign I made. So that's the sign to go with that ribbon. And you see? Oh, I love it. So that's what we're making next. Now tomorrow we'll do a bow. I haven't gotten everything together to do the rag bow yet, so that'll probably be next week. So tomorrow we'll probably do the snowman bow, maybe, with the little hat. Okay. So I want to dovetail. And all that does is give you a nice finished edge. And to do that, you fold your ribbon over, and you always want to cut towards, so your edge is going to be towards your wire. Otherwise, you're going to end up with that weird, like, point. And it looks funny. Okay, so let's do like 10-inch tail. All right. Just put it in. Let's see, should we do, what kind of bow should we do? I'm going to do 6-inch. What kind of bow do we feel like making? Yeah, it does look good playing without a bow. And you know what you can do? So if you don't want to put bows on your wreaths, then make a bow and put it on your mailbox or put it on your stairway, and then, you know, or the entrance of your home, and then you have a bow and a wreath. So sometimes we'll do that just because, you know. Let's just make a 2-1 bow. Okay? That just means 2 loops and then 1 loop. And then 2 loops and then 1 loop. And sometimes I like just to see all the mesh and stuff, and I don't like to do the bow, and sometimes I do. So sometimes I'll put it on and take it off later, or sometimes I won't put it on at all. Okay. Let's do our red, because I think we want to do the lime green because it's going to pop out a little bit more. Yes, ma'am, that sign is in my shop. I think. I'll look after we get off and make sure it's in there, because if it's not, I'll list it. Okay, so 6-inch, 6-inch. Okay, trim it off. My mom really likes to have a wreath, and then she wants to have a matching bow on the stairway. So sometimes that's what we do. We just do the wreath, and then we do the matching bow on the stairway. Okay, let me show you a little trick. Let's dovetail this. Let's say that you want your Merry Christmas ribbon to look the same on both sides. What you're going to do is you're going to trim it off. You're going to take this tail like this, pinch it up. I'm going to put it on this other side. Okay? Because what happens is that when you put these on here, one of them is going to be upside down. So to keep it from doing that, you just have to cut it, and then you just have like an inch, half an inch over here, You just want to make sure it's enough so it's not going to come off. Alright. Now, this is a patterned ribbon. And oh yeah, we are definitely going to have to flip that, okay? So let's go a little bit smaller, maybe 5.5 inch. So remember, when you go smaller, what happens is it makes the bow look larger. So if you were to twist this twice, where it is now, that's not going to fix your bow. You have to get the bow on there, get the whole bow on there. Just make sure these are right. So you can just pull it up, make sure they measure. Now, you see how this is going in this direction and this is going in this direction. You pick up the entire piece and you twist it. Right there, where it meets the bow maker. Very important not to do it until the whole loop is made, because it's not going to work. Like, it will still look wrong. Okay. Sometimes you don't have to flip it. If you have one and it's going to go up here, see, you don't really want to flip it, or yet again, you may want to flip it. See? So it's up to you. Sometimes if they're coming up in this direction, it's okay if they're not. So I'm just going to cut this about 1 inch over, because remember, we did our tails down here at the beginning. All right. Now we'll do our green. And that green's going to cover up that little piece. And I wanted this lime green because I wanted to just lighten it up a little bit so that it won't get too dark with this emerald green. Because sometimes things will get really dark if you have too dark with it. So red's dark, green's dark. Having that little bit of that lime in there just kind of helps it not get too dark. Okay. Get our zip tie out. And our pack cleaner. Let's see, where's my red? Do I have red? There's my red. I have these packages in my drawer. I know, I really like this ribbon too. Okay, so we're going to put the whole thing under it. If you struggle with this part, put the tie on first. Okay. Ribbons cut at 12 inches. Okay, there we go. All right. So you can see where that indention is. We just want to kind of move it over and slide it back. When you're sliding it back, hold on to it because the whole thing will slide. And then you'll be really ticked off because all of your ribbon will go with it. So make sure you kind of lightly hold on to it. If your ribbon tends to get messed up at the end, that's probably what's happening, is that your ribbon's moving as your tie's moving. So just move it. Hold it, I mean, and don't let it move. All right. Gonna put it on real tight. There we go. I use either a 13 or a 14-inch zip tie. I like the longer ones because if I end up with a big bow, then it's okay. All right, so we're gonna break the bow. That is to remind me to schedule pickup. All right, so we twist and break the bow. Thank you, Brittany. Twist, twist and pull, break that bow, get it out from that center. And if you got that zip tie tight, it's not gonna come loose. So you see how much I'm pulling? I'm pulling on it. Like, I'm pulling on it because that is how you're gonna get those ribbons to go where you want them to. All right, and then you can run your hands under, and get that nice curl. So you don't always have to take your 1.5 inch and curl them up. Sometimes you can just let them curl like that. Just depends on what you like. Oh no, I'm sorry you're still bound to the bed in oxygen. All right, so we got our bow. Thank you. Yes, if you're in the group, make sure you're watching all the lives. We have, how many designers do we have in my design group? We got Lisa, Rachel, we got Susan, me, Melissa. Am I missing anybody? We got 5. All right. So now, if you don't want to put a ribbon on it, if you don't want to put a bow on it, I mean, you're done. If you want to put a bow on it, then you just take these and you just go on either side. So remember, this is where we tied the mesh on. So there's a little area that you can just stick your hand right in the middle. Just figure out where that tie is and then just go right around where that tie is. Oh, you mean like a kit with the barn? We're gonna do a wreath with the barn on Wednesday. We sure are. And I need to make a wreath for, there's this really nice man that lives down the street from me. His name is Richard. And he comes and cuts all of our shrubbery, and he won't let me pay him. But his wife likes wreaths. Her name's Lulu. So we're gonna make a wreath for her, and I'm gonna take it to her. And from what I understand, she really likes Halloween, so we're gonna have to find something cool to make. Okay, so we got our bow on. Look how cute that is. See how nice it looks because they both are coming out the same direction. So you don't have that mismatch where one's going this way and one's going this way. I'm trying to do a gingerbread wreath. I will tell y'all, supplies are very hard to get. I know for sure we're doing a snowman wreath. It'll be gray and red. I know we're doing a gold, rose gold and cream wreath. And I don't know. Oh, and we're doing the autumn wreath. Those are the only ones I have planned so far. So, all right, so let's put our Grinch themed sign on. If you didn't catch it earlier, it says, "What if Christmas means a bit more?" So that is a saying from the Grinch. And of course we have the little tree that's kind of hanging over, and we have the little dog with the little reindeer ears. So that's as close as we can get to Grinch without getting in trouble. Okay. So I'm just gonna do one at the top and one at the bottom with my hole puncher. And we do carry these, and they're very inexpensive. If you're moving and you need to change your address, just email us at orders@hardworkingmom.com, and we'll help you change it. We don't mind doing that at all. Okay, so I punch the holes. Now you like to use 26 gauge wire. You can get this at Amazon. It's actually on my influencer list. That just means my Amazon shop. It has kind of a list of all the tools and stuff I use. Makes it a little bit easier to find them. Okay, so one at the top, one at the bottom. I do tend to cut my wires pretty long, so probably about 20 inches. I may not use it all, but I find it easier because it's a pain if you have to add more on. But if all you have to do is just cut some off, this paddle wire is really inexpensive, so it's worth using a little bit more. Okay, Dawn, you still on here? All right, we're gonna be using a weaving needle. You can get these on Etsy at Wreath by Dawn. So Dawn sells them. She's one of my cubbies. So look, I just thread it just like a needle. See, it's a plastic needle. And then what you do is you can push it right down directly through the mesh. And then you don't have to try to figure out where to put it or how to get it around or anything like that. This makes putting on your signs minutes instead of, or maybe we should say seconds, instead of many minutes. Then I just take it and I wrap it around the wreath frame a couple times, that wire, and then I just trim off the excess threadway. Okay, like that. So exact same thing on the bottom. See, all you do is thread your wire through it just like you would a needle, and then I bend it over, and then I literally take it and push it right down through the mesh. It's not going to hurt the mesh at all. There's lots of holes in the mesh. It's not going to hurt it. And then you just wrap it around the frame. That's it. Like, you see how quick it is to put that sign on now? You don't have to think about it. You don't have to stress about it. And there it is. The great thing is, you can also use this on grapevine. It will go through grapevine like butter. Do I have a grapevine down here? No. It'll also go through evergreen. You can use it on swags, anything you want, really. Okay. Yeah, I showed my group a long time ago, and Dawn, who is a very smart lady, said, I'm going to carry those in my shop. And she does, so that's who I send people to, because I want my cubbies to succeed too. All right. Oh, and this one's cubby is Brenda with Busy Bees, so make sure you go and check her out on YouTube and on Facebook, because she is my cubby of the month in my business group. It is a kit. It is. All right, what do we think? That's so cute. See, now look, if you really want to see a lot of the mesh, I would leave the bow off and just put the bow somewhere where you can see it. I am aware that I have to schedule. All right, do we like it? Yeah, and these are not expensive, and they're plastic, right? So the reason they work so well is because they're flexible. These things are the bomb, I'm telling you. They're the bomb. So go check out Wreath by Dawn on Etsy and get some of those. How do I feel about my other half using my craft scissors? I would kill him. No one's allowed to touch my craft scissors. And let me tell you, you are entitled to have your craft scissors and for them to stay nice and sharp. Nobody touches my craft scissors. Not even my ladies who are here. No, no. They gotta stay sharp. Don't let him take those. It is a regular kit that's apart from the monthly. It's not a monthly subscription. And y'all, even the monthly subscription you can buy as a one-off. The only difference is if you join the subscription, you're guaranteed a kit and you get a discount. That's the only difference. You can still buy it as a one-off. Yes, Dawn and Brenda are awesome. I totally agree. All right. And I'll show you what next one does one more time. So it's this is the theme. See the blue, the navy blue? So navy blue is big this year. As a navy mesh, I was gonna say green, orange mesh. It has a sign. Now I'm probably gonna darken the outside, but it has a 10-inch round sign. This is the full roll. And then the others are a navy blue and a cream. So it's gonna be pretty. I'm excited. I am super excited about that. So, awesome. All right, well, I hope y'all have a wonderful night. I'm gonna go home. Looks like Kalee's going on. I'm gonna go home and hang out with my parents before I'll hang out with my mom. My dad is long in bed by now. All right, y'all have a great night, and I will see you guys tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. We'll be making a bow. I'm not sure exactly what bow set we're doing yet, but hopefully tomorrow morning I'll go live and introduce y'all to my staff. So, and I should have done it today because Simone, her hair looked all pretty, and she does not like me to go on if her hair doesn't look perfect. So, we're just going to have to make her be okay with it. All right. Y'all have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I'm sorry I'm having like issues. Tomorrow I'll try to run my Ethernet cord over here to get it to stop doing that craziness. All right.